Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the PANSIGHT webinar. Let me start the slideshow. I assume I'm audible and slide is visible. Today's topic is don't open Pandora's box. If you don't know what Pandora's box is, please put N in the chat box. I want to know whether I need to go into the details. N or yes? N. Okay. Thank you, Jachindraji. Come on, be fast. Time management. Okay, Roy Karanji. Okay. Veerashanaji. Good. Okay. Pandora's box. The word Pandora means, there's a Greek word, all gifted. The word pan means all. Dora, gifts. Greek mythology. She is Pandora. And you can see a box. According to Greek mythology, this woman was created, first woman, and all gods gave her different gifts. Beauty, intelligence, many gifts. Zeus, one of the Greek gods, gave her two gifts. One, curiosity. Two, a box. They're saying it's a jar. And he told her, you should not open the box. You should not open the box. Just like our Roy MCG will definitely agree with this story. As per the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, the Adam and Eve, they were asked not to eat apple from the particular tree. Am I right? അതാണ് വിലക്കപ്പെട്ട കനി, forbidden fruit. The same way here also, she was asked not to open the Pandora's box. And she was given curiosity also. Obviously, every day, the curiosity was getting stronger and stronger. And she found it extremely difficult to contain that curiosity. And eventually, she opened that Pandora's box. Many evil spirits came out of that box. Pain, suffering, death, like that. And it affected the entire humanity. All these evil spirits, they were released because of that Pandora opening that box. And towards the end, she saw that there was one spirit lying inside the box. That spirit is called hope. H-O-P-E, hope. So the take-home message is plenty of suffering, but at the same time, there is some hope. Do you get it? Is the story understood? If you are understood, put you in the chat box. Because everything is based on this story, the moral. If you have understood, put you in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Ramachandra ji. Okay, Roy Charan ji. My mission, always 4E mission, entertain, educate, enlighten, and empower. At the end, if the knowledge should empower a person, if it doesn't empower, it is useless. We studied up to 10th grade. SSLC, before SSLC, we spent 10 years in the schools. And what did you remember from what you learned in those 10 years? What do you remember? Do you remember something or nothing or all things? In the chat box, put something, put yes. Nothing, N. All things, put A. 10 years we spent. 10 years, nothing else. Okay, something, Roy Chareji. Okay, Naburiji, something. Okay, Musamliji, something. And what is that something? Can you chat in the chat box? What exactly do you remember? In the chat, can you type in what is that something you remember? All things, okay? I will share. Tell me whether you agree with me. Grammar, the language grammar, English, present tense, past tense, future tense, Malayalam also grammar. We learned the grammar and simple arithmetics. Good lady teacher, okay. Some arithmetics, right? Adding, dividing, multiplication. Other than that, most of the things we don't remember. Am I right? If I'm right, put R in the chat box. Nearly more than 80% of what you learn, you don't remember. So it is not knowledge. Point I'm trying to make is knowledge. We, under the illusion, we go and get a formal training. 10 years? No. That is why I am trying my best, even if it is 1 hour. It won't be just the information. I want to make sure that is knowledge. That means knowledge is what you remember. Information, you don't remember. Disappears. Once you have the knowledge, yes, that gives the power. Grammar, if you have learned it very well, yes, that gives you power. You know how to communicate well. You can write a good letter, English. My webinars are based on FSQ. Facts, stories, I already shared the story, that Pandora's story, and quotations. And now these days, Pandora's box means it is an idiom, English expression. An action or decision that once initiated, that means once it started, leads to a cascade of unforeseen. Unforeseen means unexpected and often negative consequences. Those consequences are often difficult or impossible to control. Is this definition clear? If it is clear, put C in the chat box. Because this definition is very important. I spent at least some 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, thank you, Musavuliji. 30 to 40 minutes to come out with a definition that is clear. Okay, thank you, Jajanji. Repeat. Okay, I will show you that slide again. Shaji's loss is concentration. An action or decision that once initiated leads to a cascade of unforeseen and often negative consequences. If you start something, it will lead to, it will trigger. And once those consequences are started, you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. It's irreversible. Now, is it clear, Shajiji? It becomes? Yes. Okay. Most of the time irreversible. Occasionally, yes, you can. Many books on Pandora's box. I'm going to show you 3 books. Pandora's box, Pandora's box. Do not open Pandora's box. 10 real life examples of Pandora's box. I'm not a theoretician. My favorite hobby is thinking. Thinking is my hobby. Some people, what is your hobby? Oh, watching cricket. What is your hobby? Watching movies. What is your reading? My hobby is thinking. Any information, anything, I start thinking. That one triggers my thought process. And this topic also, Pandora's box. Once I prepared the definition, then I started thinking to identify real life examples, which everyone will agree. Okay, first example, COVID-19. I'll explain it later. COVID-19, Pandora's box. Stray dog laws in India. You get it? Stray dog laws in India. Pandora's box. Do you find it interesting? If you find it interesting, put I in the chat box. Because I want to know whether what I am sharing is something interesting. Okay, thank you, Roger ji, Musavali ji, Bindu ji. Okay. Work from home. This is also a real life situation, especially after the pandemic, beginning of the pandemic. IT section people, 80 to 90% of them, they work from home. For some people, it is a hybrid situation. 2 days they have to go to the office, 3 days at home. Am I right? If I'm right, put on the chat box. I want to make sure that this work from home. Yes, Vilashnaji, thank you. I'm going to explain. I'll explain in what way, how it has become a Pandora's box. Artificial intelligence, a big time Pandora's box. It is evolving. Executive checkup. Many corporate hospitals, they offer executive checkup, 5,000 rupees. Pandora's box. Pandora's box. Roy MCG is nodding his head and he is strongly agreeing with me. Malpractice law in USA, a big Pandora's box. I came to experience that one after coming here. Now in India also, yes, malpractice litigation is growing. That is the cases filed against the doctor and hospitals for negligence or for incompetence, for death. Entrance exams before 1981. Admission to medical college. You do the pre-degree or BSc marks. Admission is based on that one. Engineering, again, pre-degree. Now, you study +2, useless. Those marks are useless. Then why the hell do you study and take the examination? Now you have to take the entrance exam. NEET, JEE, a lot of other exams. And you pass to pre-degree, you get first class, you get good marks, you get admission, or you go to pursue science, BSc or zoology or whatever it is. Now, again and again and again, you keep on taking the examination, leading to a lot of stress for children, parents, and a couple of times I presented in Kota, Rajasthan, the coaching center for NEET exam, JEE, and IAS. Every year, around 30 students, they commit suicide. So this entrance exam is responsible for this increasing incidence of suicide. Am I right? If I'm right, put R in the chat box. Not only that, in the past, Dr. Shaji will agree, Dr. Santosh will agree, Dr. Mohanlal will agree. When we joined, more than 80% of the students, they came from middle class family, a lower middle class family. Their parents are either farmers. But now, almost all of them are coming from rich family. Only from upper class family members, they can afford to send their children for coaching. Am I right? Put R in the chat box. Put R in the chat box. Because of that, what these children who come to that one, they are not coming with any passion, no compassion, and so the medical profession, now it has become terrible. I talked to a couple of my friends who work in the private medical colleges in Kerala and asked them roughly what percentage of students are really interested in pursuing medical profession. One friend said that just 10%, only 10% are interested. Another person said, yeah, maybe 10 to 20. So what about that 80 to 90% who don't have any passion for medicine? And tomorrow when they become doctors, Roy MCG, would you have the confidence to go and consult them? No. No. The quality of care is terrible now. Shajiji, do you agree? The youngsters, juniors, yes, dangerous. The entrance exam, Pandora's box. Is example crystal clear? Put CC in the chat box. I told you that many people may not have thought because my hobby is thinking. Because my okay, thank you, Binduji. My hobby is thinking. So that is why and you go, okay, my goodness, the danger. Nobody is realizing this. Iraq war. Pandora's box. 9/11 incident. That is in the USA. The World Trade Center. Saddam Hussein didn't have anything to do with that one. Saddam Hussein didn't have anything to do with that one. He was not a terrorist. He was not a terrorist. And when Saddam Hussein was in power, there was not even one terrorist in Iraq. Not even one terrorist. But that country was invaded. The allegation that is, he has got weapons of mass destruction. United Nations, when Saddam Hussein allowed them, gave them the permission to come and inspect, they spent 2 years. They couldn't find even a single weapon of destruction, mass destruction. They couldn't find even the Walapadakam. Shivaji, Walapadako, Malapadakam poലും കണ്ടില്ല. ശിവാജി എന്നുള്ള ഓലപ്പടക്കം പോലും കണ്ടില്ല. With the false allegation, weapons of mass destruction, that country was invaded. Pandora's box, that action initiated. Then what happened? Iraq, ISIS, that is a, that is the terrorist organization. It gave birth to ISIS. Iraq became the headquarters training center for terrorists. More than 7,000 young Americans, they were killed in that war. Young 7,000, there are 7,000 families. Right? More than 100,000 families. 100,000 people are killed in Iraq. Look at the far-reaching, long-lasting consequences of that war. Pandora's box. Agreed? Put A in the chat box. This is how I differ. I am different from other people. Okay, thank you, Namburiji. Yes, Binduji. I think you have to come with real examples. Okay, thank you, Ravendraji. Lifestyle changes. Pandora's box. Previously, we used to drink sambaram. That is a buttermilk, good for health. Or lime juice, good for health. The water, homemade food. These days, no. Parota, beef fry, Lay's potato chips, ice cream, home cooking, coming down. They order Zomato, Swiggy, unhealthy food. And the young children, they eat junk food. They are obese. And Pepsi, Coke, the long run diabetes incidence is going up. Lifestyle changes opened a big Pandora's box. Agree? Put A in the chat box. Everything started in a small way. Everything started in a small way, not overnight. Okay, thank you, Santoshi. And because of that, what is happening? India is the what you call diabetes headquarters, or angiogram, angioplasty. Cancer also, incidence very high, growing. Why? Food habits. Eat out, they put all the coloring agents. There are chemicals, carcinogens, to add more flavor, more taste. They put many things. That's what is happening. Cell phones, I'll come to that one later. I'll explain that one. Cell phone came? Yeah, useful. Initially, yes. We get excited when you get a gadget. Pandora's box. Do you want to know more about that one? If you want to know more, put M in the chat box. How cell phone? Put M in the chat box and I will explain. Give you more examples. Okay, Shaji ji, Bindu ji, M. Okay, thank you. Jayendra ji. Do you know who this gentleman is? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Some of you might be knowing. Most of you may not be knowing this gentleman. No, Dr. Shaji ji. Okay. Anybody else? Jayendra ji? No. The kind of crime he did, I'm going to explain. The crime, big crime. That gentleman, infectious disease expert, you are the White House physician, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now he is 84. And it was this Fauci, when the COVID-19 outbreak, he came with all sorts of guidelines, recommendations, everything, the whole world, except a few countries. He made the life hell, more than what the COVID did. Yes, COVID definitely is an infection, just like the Spanish flu. It killed some people. But this gentleman, the damage created by this gentleman, unforgivable, unpardonable. Have I made you more and more curious? If yes, I'm going to explain. You want to know why this guy, Dr. Reddiar, is saying, and he is not telling what exactly happened? Are you getting more and more curious? Put, if you are curious, more curious, put C. Put there. Then I will explain. Okay, Nambudiri, thank you. Roy MCG. I told you, I won't make any statement unless I have 100% solid facts and the evidence. I'm a medical doctor, Dr. Shaji, Dr. Santosh, Dr. Mohanlal, we are taught evidence-based medicine. So without evidence, we should not make any diagnosis. If you make a diagnosis of brain tumor, we must have the evidence. Diabetes, we must have the evidence. Here I made some statements about the Fauci. Okay, I'm going to. Because otherwise tomorrow, the Fauci may sue me. If Fauci comes to know, one Dr. Reddiar in his webinar, he mentioned many things, I'm going to sue him. I want $10 million. So that kind of a threat is there. So I must be able to protect myself. And I'm going to show you another personality. Then I will explain. The Fauci, he recommended double masking, N95 mask, another mask, all the social distancing, and he made the vaccination, which should be made mandatory. And in USA, in New York, again, the state mandatory, and the government employees who refused to take the vaccine, they were fired from the job. Then they had to go to the Supreme Court. Termination of employment. Compulsory. He said that 2 doses protection, then you won't get COVID if you take 2 doses. It will prevent. Did it? Did it prevent? I'm sure some of you in this group, some of you might have taken 3 or 4, till you got COVID. This Fauci, this gentleman, ID expert, he took 4 doses. And you didn't go and meet, anyway, even White House dinner, he used to avoid. Hey, if you are so sure, confident that it will prevent, why the hell are you afraid to go for a dinner? He didn't. And in spite of the fact he took 4 doses, he contracted COVID after 4 doses. Joe Biden, American president, after 4 doses, he contracted COVID. The most interesting fact comes now. The CEO of the COVID vaccine manufacturing pharma, that is Pfizer, he, after 4 doses, he contracted COVID. Shaji, did you know that? Huh? So I am sharing new information for some of you. And here, Dr. Jayachandran, I think that Dr. Jayachandran didn't take even a single dose. I didn't take even a single dose. It is not because I'm arrogant or something like that. I use my brain to think. I told you my hobby is thinking. Fact. Every year they have been giving flu vaccine. Every year. From October through March. You don't have to pay even a single penny. It is covered by the health insurance. And almost all the medical stores outside there's a board, flu shot, walk in, no appointment necessary. Go there, they'll give you the flu shot. Hospitals also, where I was working, yes, flu shot they give. And they repeatedly send reminders. I didn't take. Why? Because this is a virus which mutates, which is changes its shape and structure. When it changes, the vaccine prepared, that may not work. And every year in USA, the top 10 leading causes of death, flu and related complications, are still within that top 10 list. Shajiji, still within that top 10 list. Then what the hell? What kind of a benefit did you get by taking this shot every year, people? People do die. So that knowledge, then I knew that this COVID is a chemical, it is a cousin. If flu is a Nair, this is a Menon. If flu is a Kurupu, this is a Pillai. They are cousins. Okay, same family. Then use the logic, common sense. How can you expect protection? Because this virus also is mutating. So that is the reason I didn't take. Your basic immunity is the one which is going to protect you. Your immunity, how do you boost? Don't eat junk foods. Don't eat junk foods. Junk drinks. Healthy food. Fear. Dr. Shaji and Dr. Mohanlal, they are in the neurology. Psychoneuroimmunology. You must be aware of that. Fear and anxiety, they depress your immunity. They generate more steroids also. Anxiety and stress. And you know, steroids, they reduce the immunity, resistance to infection. That fear. I didn't have any fear. Okay, I'm ready to meet the corona. I didn't wear any mask except a couple of months in my state. They made the mask wearing mandatory if you go for shopping, for shoppers only. Walmart or some other place. Otherwise, you don't have to wear. I didn't wear any mask except those couple of months when I went for my shopping. No N95, nothing. No problem. Another friend, and at that time, some of my doctor friends here, they call me, you are stupid. You are stupid. You are crazy. You are unnecessarily taking a risk. I said, no. It's okay. If you think I'm stupid, yes, I'm stupid. If you think I'm crazy, yes, I'm crazy. But I'm not going to stay. Very same friends, after 4 doses, they contracted COVID. One person after 6 doses, he contracted COVID. He's a cardiologist. And he was IAS, yes. He was admitted in the ICU because of the after COVID, he developed severe pneumonia. 6 doses, a cardiologist. Then they admit you. It took nearly 3 years for them to realize. I'm not bragging. What I'm saying is that phobia, panic created by this gentleman worldwide, this Fauci, and Pfizer made billions of dollars. There's unconfirmed that he had some other financial benefits from promoting this vaccine. Got it, Shajiji? Unconfirmed. So I'm not sure. Then actually, do you know any country where there was no shutdown, no lockdown, schools were not shut down, and the restaurants were not closed during the COVID period? Do you know? If you don't know, put N in the chat box. Yeah, I want to make sure whether I am sharing something useful. No, Shajiji. Okay, Binduji, no. Shaji, no. Okay. I'm going to show you the next epidemiology, picture of the epidemiologist. In his country, he recommended no shutdown, no lockdown. The government followed his recommendation. You are 16 years younger than the so-called super expert, Fauci, ID, Guru, Anders Tegnell, in Sweden. Restaurants were open. Schools were not shut down. People used to go to the office for working. Masking was not mandatory. And social distancing, yes. And after 3 years, when they looked at the data, the number of deaths in Sweden, comparing with the number of deaths in Europe, other countries, there's no significant difference. But during that one, the children, they didn't suffer. The lockdown, school shut down, many children developed many emotional problems. The learning, everything was affected, consequence. Businesses, restaurants, huge damage. Economy, hotels, huge damage. Are you convinced? You are convinced? Put C in the chat box. So who? This Fauci did billions and billions of dollars of damage in many ways. Lot of mental health problems. Loneliness, elderly people, they could not go out. Isolation. Single people. Otherwise, they used to go to the restaurant and meet their friends and chat for some time. Nothing possible. Domestic violence increase in London. Because husband and wife, they are not going for work. They are inside the home. Then arguments. Anti-PD, Udichal, Torichal. Domestic violence increased during the COVID. So mental health problems, physical health problems, emotional problems, everything. And once it started, it's very difficult to change. Those who suffer from many that mental health problems, it is irreversible. Do you understand? If you understand, put you in the chat box. So that Pandora's box, Namburiji, that Pandora's box, that guy, then what happened? The next slide will show you. He is a criminal. I told you he could be incriminated or he can be persecuted, prosecuted. President Joe Biden pardons Dr. Anthony Fauci during final hours in office before he stepped down. Unconditional pardon. So nobody can sue this Anthony Fauci. 100% protection. If he didn't do anything wrong. If he didn't do anything wrong, why the hell did he seek that pardon and Biden gave the pardon? Are you convinced? Are you convinced? All things, whatever he did was something of a criminal nature. So he wanted to get that immunity protection. This pardon is his vaccine. Pardon is like a vaccine. So he doesn't have to worry now. Eh? Fauci. Okay, Arjunanji. Cell phone and Pandora's box. So what is happening with the cell phone because of cell phone? Motor vehicle accidents. In India also very high. People who are riding a bike again, they talk. Am I right? While riding, while driving, texting, distraction, 3 seconds of distraction is enough. Just 3 seconds. Incoming message, immediately they cannot resist and immediately they ping, ping, they set the alarm, alert. Distracted driving, motor vehicle accidents. They get into accident, they kill some pedestrians, they kill some bicyclists. That's happening. Reels, yeah. So motor vehicle accidents, huge. Selfie deaths. You know that is how many people they died while taking the selfie. Standing in front of an oncoming train and a wedding again, honeymoon. And they got the girl stands on the top of a rock and she wants to take a selfie. Selfie deaths. Am I right? If I am right, put R in the chat box. It would not have happened. It is happening because of the cell phone. Reality. A Pandora's box. Thank you, Binduji. Screen addiction. Now people are addicted to. Children, they are addicted to. Adults are addicted to. Keep on scrolling. The other day, I went to my apartment neighbor. He is from the West Bengal. He's an IT guy. When I was sitting there talking to him, he was not even giving me eye contact. He was scrolling. No meaningful conversation is possible these days. Not only youngsters, even senior citizens also. Children, forget about it. They are addicted to cell phones. Am I right? If I'm right, put R in the chat box. That is screen addiction. Thank you, Ilashnaji. So they don't have any social skills. Digital eye strain. And I talked to one of my friends. That is a Shajiji, you know Dr. Mahadevan. Santosh, you know Dr. Mahadevan, ophthalmologist. And I asked him, and he said, yes, many young children, they are having vision-related problems. And this blue light emitting from the cell phone, blue light, that can damage the retina. Prolonged exposure to that one, retinal damage. So digital eye strain. Dryness, they are glued to that one. They don't even blink. Blinking is natural. Naturally, you blink. Normally, no blinking. Dry eyes. Irritation. Subsequently, itching. Because of digital eye strain. Insomnia. The night before you go to bed again, you watch these things again. That blue light again, that will affect your melatonin. Increasing incidence of sleep problems. And people end up taking sleeping pill. And the sleeping pill will make them drowsy. Everything Pandora's box. Cascade of that one. One thing starts, leads to another. That thing leads to something else. Have you understood the cascade of that one? The expression, is it clear? If it is understood, put you in the chat box. Somewhere it starts and it opens up more and more and more, newer and newer consequences. Thank you, Nambudiji. Cyber fraud. Okay, these days, you know, because of the cell phone, all this digital arrest. Digital arrest. What is up? How many people, including a retired judge, lost lakhs of rupees? One advocate who is an expert on this cyber fraud, he lost his money. He was again cheated. In Trivandrum, Shastamangalam. I don't know how many of you are aware of that. It came in the newspaper. So digital, that cyber fraud, cell phone. There's got to be good things. I'm not saying that cell phone is totally useless. It should be avoided. But what happens is many people, they don't realize. They don't have self-control. It should be given to only people who have good self-control. I don't take my cell phone to my bedroom. No. Never. And if I'm in a meeting, I turn it off. I'll put it in silent mode. Some people, when they are in the meeting again, oh, okay, then, okay. You cannot give good attention, concentration. Okay, now the dog law, stray dog law. Supreme Court's order on stray dogs is inhumane, anti-science, and anti-love. Who says? Maneka Gandhi. Maneka Gandhi. Whatever she has done is a Pandora's box. Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. Pandora's box. Shajiji, yes. Amendran. My goodness, I cannot believe that is the IAS. Shajiji, IAS, that is a typical example of ignorance, arrogance, and stupidity. Her IAS quotient is very, very high. What is happening? Number? India reports 22 lakh dog bite cases in 2024. 48 deaths raise concerns over rabies-free goal. Actually, the total number of deaths in last year was more than 5,000 deaths. Preventable or not preventable? They are 100% preventable. Am I right? In Japan, no. No rabies. There are some countries, rabies free. Australia, no. No stray dogs. Here also, I won't find any stray dog. But in India, yes. If it has to come to a stop, only if these stray dogs go and bite these people who are supporting that law. They should go and specifically choose these judges, these animal lovers, activists, and some ministers or politicians. If they go and bite them, then everything will be all right. Am I right, Roy MCG? They don't have to walk on the street. They are inside the car. They get from the home inside the car and they go and then they get off. They don't even walk. They have a gym inside their home. Another one, Pandora's box. Only in Kerala. Only in Kerala. I see so many Arogya Bodhavalkarana Masigagal. I'm very sarcastic. Arogya Bodhavalkaranam. Create health awareness. So that the health will be better. ഒരു 3-4 എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഞാൻ പറയാണ് മാഗസീന്റെ കാണിച്ചു തരാം. ആരോഗ്യമാസിയ, ആൾമോസ്റ്റ് എവറി ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ ദേ ഹാവ് തലച്ചോറിന്റെ ആരോഗ്യം, ഇവിടെ ബ്രെയിൻ ട്യൂമർ ചികിത്സിക്കുമ്പോൾ. Why the hell do an ordinary man, lay person, need to know all these things? Do you want to know? MCG? Do you need to know? You are spending that much time reading. Time is life. If Roy MCG has 80 years, your lifespan, time, every second, every minute is part of that life. How do you use that time? Reading this such crap and a droga bhീതിവൽക്കരണമാണ്. It is not ആരോഗ്യ ബോധവൽക്കരണം. ഇത് വായിച്ചിട്ട് അതിന് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. ഇപ്പൊ നടക്കുന്ന അതും കൂടെ പറയാം, എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാം. റിയൽ എക്സാമ്പിൾസ്. ഐ ആം നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് ടോക്കിംഗ് നോൺസെൻസ്. ആരോഗ്യ മംഗളം ഇവിടെ എന്തോന്ന് പറയാ, സ്ത്രീ മസ്റ്റ് ബി അറൌണ്ട് ദി ഏജ് ഓഫ് 50 വല്ലതും കാണത്തുള്ളൂ, മുഖത്ത് ഒരു ചുളുക്കുമില്ല, ചെറുപ്പക്കാരിയാണ്. എന്നിട്ട് ഒരിതാണ് അകാല നരയ്ക്ക് എന്താണ് ചികിത്സ എന്നുള്ളത്. അകാല നരയ്ക്ക് ചികിത്സ ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കി രാമേന്ദ്രൻ. അകാല നരയ്ക്ക് പ്രബുദ്ധരാണ് മലയാളികൾ. പ്രബുദ്ധരാകുമ്പോൾ എല്ലാം വിഴുങ്ങും. തിങ്കിങ് സ്കിൽസ് ആർ വെരി വെരി ലോ. Then the third one, magazine. ഇതിൽ എന്താന്ന് പറയാ, ഡിസ്ക് തകരാറുകൾ. സാധാരണക്കാരന് അതൊക്കെ വായിച്ച് സെൽഫായിട്ട് ഡയഗ്നോസ് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാം ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാമല്ലോ അല്ലെ. ഡിസ്ക് തകരാറുകളെല്ലാം ഈ മാഗസിൻ കാരണം എന്റെ ജീവിതമാണ് ഇപ്പൊ വലിയ പ്രയാസമായിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഐ ആം ആംഗ്രി. ഞാൻ ഈ വെബിനാറിൽ കൂടെ ഒരുപാട് പേര് പരിചയപ്പെട്ടല്ലോ. നോക്കുമ്പോൾ അമേരിക്കയിലുള്ള ഒരു ഡോക്ടറാണ്. അങ്ങനെ ഇപ്പം റിട്ടയർ ആയിട്ട് വീട്ടിൽ ജോലിയും കൂലിയില്ലാതെ ചൊറിഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. വാട്സാപ്പിലോട്ട് ഇന്നാ പിടിച്ചോ, അവരുടെ ആരോഗ്യ സംശയങ്ങളെല്ലാം അയക്കും. ഞാൻ ഇന്ന ഈ CT സ്കാൻ എടുത്തു, ഇന്ന ഇതെടുത്തു, മറ്റേതെടുത്തു, ഇതിന്റെ അഭിപ്രായം, എന്റെ സെക്കൻഡ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ വേണം. എന്നിട്ട് എനിക്ക് ചിലതായിട്ട് ഇത് തലകൊണ്ട് ഇത് മറ്റേ ക്യാൻസറിന്റെ ആണോ? ഞാൻ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് അങ്ങനെ, വൈ ആർ വറീഡ് അബൌട്ട് ക്യാൻസർ? ഇല്ല, ഞാൻ ഈ മാഗസീനിൽ ഞാൻ വായിച്ചു ഇതൊക്കെ ആരംഭ ലക്ഷണമാണെന്ന്. പോരെ. സോ ദീസ് മാഗസീൻസ് ആർ ഇൻജെക്ടിങ് ഫിയർ ആൻഡ് വേസ്റ്റിംഗ് മൈ ടൈം ഓൾസോ. എന്റെ ഇത് പോകാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഇത് കൂടെ പറയുന്നത്, ഇതിരിക്കുന്ന ആരെങ്കിലും ഇതേപോലുള്ള ഇത് വായിക്കുന്ന ശീലമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഉടനെ നിർത്തണം കേട്ടോ. It is not health care, it is health scare. Fear mongering. Is it understood? If it is understood to you, and because of that one, ഈ കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽസ് they are happy, they are thriving. ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു പനിക്ക് ഉടനെ ഓടിപ്പോയി 3000-5000 രൂപയുടെ ടെസ്റ്റ് എല്ലാം ചെയ്ത് ഒരു ദിവസം പോയി കിട്ടും ഹോൾ ഫാമിലി. അതിന് ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത ഒരു ആന്റിബയോട്ടിക് കിട്ടും. എവറിത്തിങ് ഈസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ ദീസ്. ഓരോ TV ചാനലുണ്ട്, ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് ഡോക്ടറെ ഇരുത്തി കളയും ഒരാൾ ഒരു അരമണിക്കൂർ നേരത്തേക്ക്, കൂട്ടും സോട്ടും എല്ലാം ന്യൂറോളജിസ്റ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മറ്റേ ആൾ. അയാളുടെ ഹോസ്പിറ്റലിൽ പേഷ്യന്റിനെ പിടിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി വന്നിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ ഭോജനത്തിൽ നിന്ന് കൊറോണത്തിന് പിടിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി വന്നിരിക്കുകയാണ്. തലവേദനയെ കുറിച്ച് അയാൾ സംസാരിക്കും. You talk about headache and towards then is a brain tumor, അതൊരു CT scan, ഒരു ന്യൂറോളജിസ്റ്റ്, അയാളാണ് ന്യൂറോളജിസ്റ്റ് കേട്ടോ, ആളെ പിടിക്കാനാണ്. Am I right? If I am right, put R in the chat box. If I am right, put R in the chat box, my dear friends. Okay, Vilasaji. All this free TV, this health, this one is not free. It costs you a lot. It will cost your peace of mind. മനസമാധാനം പോയി കിട്ടും. Thank you, Agency. Sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things. Don't think this is നിസ്സാരം എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കരുത്. നിസ്സാരമല്ല. പട്ടിയെ കൊല്ലരുത്, പട്ടിയെ പിടിക്കരുത്. പട്ടി പിടിച്ചെല്ലാം സ്റ്റെറിലൈസേഷൻ ചെയ്യണം, and vaccine കൊടുക്കണം, and leave them back into the okay. Sterilized dog won't get rabies. Does it make any sense? Where is the common sense? If a dog is sterilized, does it mean that it won't bite? Does it mean that it won't get rabies? This is IAS, height of IAS. Do you agree? If you agree, put A in the chat box. IAS. Agree ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ? ആൻഡ് ഇത്ര എണ്ണത്തിന് ലക്ഷങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ട് എവിടെ കൊണ്ട് പാർപ്പിക്കും? ഗവൺമെന്റ് എവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഫണ്ട്, ഷെൽട്ടർ and rule. Don't. Okay. കോടതി പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുകയാണ്, മറ്റേ സ്കൂൾസ്, കോളേജസ്, ടെമ്പിൾസ്, such places, റെയിൽവേ സ്റ്റേഷൻ, ഡോഗ്സ് പാടില്ല. ബാക്കിയിടത്ത് കടിക്കാവുന്ന, ഇവിടെ മാത്രം പാടില്ല. ഈ സ്ഥലത്ത് ചെന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പട്ടി കടിക്കരുത്, ബാക്കി വേറെ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പട്ടി കടിക്കാം. പാർക്കിൽ പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പട്ടി കടിക്കാം. Some of my friends, they have stopped walking, morning walk, പട്ടിയുടെ പേടിച്ചിട്ട്. So that is IAS, little things. This is my own quote. Only after a pilot project, new rules, new policies, and new laws must be implemented to avoid the risk of opening the Pandora's box. പൈലറ്റ് പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ആദ്യം ഒരു ചെറിയ ഒരെണ്ണം ഇട്ടിട്ട് 2-3 മാസം ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിന്റെ ഇമ്പാക്ട് സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്യണം. Whether that is a right policy, whether that is a right law. ഇതൊന്നും ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. നോ പൈലറ്റ് സ്റ്റഡി. കുറെ ബ്യൂറോക്രാറ്റ്സ് എവിടെ ഇരുന്നുണ്ട്, കുറെ ജഡ്ജിമാരെല്ലാം ഇരുന്ന് മറ്റേ സമോസയും മറ്റെല്ലാം കഴിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു അടിച്ചിറക്കുകയാണ്. Am I right? If I am right, put R in the chat box. There is no pilot study. ഞങ്ങളുടെ മെഡിസിൻ അടച്ച പൈലറ്റ് സ്റ്റഡി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരു മരുന്ന് ഇറക്കാൻ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ. Dr. Shaji knows. Trial. Before that one, a trial. Put on a healthy volunteers, 50 or 100 people, and look at the safety. Is it safe? Everything. Then only it will be allowed to. But nothing. A policy change. It is something like a drug. Okay. Upcoming talks. Half-baked doctors. Do you know what it means? Half-baked knowledge കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇല്ലാന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ know it. Half-baked knowledge. If you have not heard about half-baked, what does half-baked means? Put N in the chat box. Half-baked doctors. Okay, Dr. Shaji ji. Okay. You won't find this one in any. If you search half-baked doctors, you won't find. Now it is a product of my own brainchild. Okay. ഇനിയിപ്പോ എനിക്ക് homework ആണ്. I have to think about and come up with real life stories. The topic just like that came to my mind when I came across half-baked. Half-baked means partially cooked. Partially cooked കഴിക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ? കൊള്ളാമോ ആരോഗ്യത്തിന്? നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു ചിക്കൻ അത് കുക്ക് ചെയ്യാനുള്ളതിന് എടുക്കുമല്ലോ, കുറെ സമയം എടുക്കത്തില്ലേ? അത് പാർഷ്യലി കുക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ raw fish, partially cooked. Half-baked. അതുപോലെ ഒരു നോളജും അത് ഫുള്ളായിട്ട് കിട്ടില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഹാഫ് ബേക്ക് നോളജ്. ഇന്നത്തെ നല്ലൊരു ശതമാനം ഡോക്ടേഴ്സും they are practicing medicine. Those are practicing, their knowledge is half baked. അത് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് അടുത്ത ആഴ്ചത്തെ ടോക്ക്. Now it is time to another one. Enough is enough. Same link. Okay, I always check feedback. Did I honor my commitment? 4E. Entertain, educate, enlighten, and empower. Did I? It is 4E, put E, that one. Okay, thank you. Thank you, E4. Thank you, Roy Chiranji. Because I want to make sure that I am not wasting my time, as well as I am not wasting the time of those who have come to listen to my webinar. Thank you, Binduji. Time is the most precious resource. Anything else, you can get it. Money, if you lose, yeah, you can borrow. Or you can steal from somebody else. You can get that one. Time, once lost, lost. Money you can save and you can leave it in a FD, safe deposit. It is there. This one you cannot save. You cannot store. You use it or lose it. That is why I consider time as the most precious resource. And I always, whenever I give a talk, I make sure that is useful and insightful. I'm going to stop the recording, but we'll continue with the discussion.